Hello, I'm Nishant from the product team.
And I'm Mallory from the marketing team at Sigma. And today we've got a big product announcement.
We are launching Sigma Tables. Sigma Tables is our evolution of Writeback. So customers want to build more complex things on Sigma. We have this capability to write back to the warehouse, but it was built for BI. It was not built for real apps.
So what are some of the common use cases you're seeing already with Sigma Tables?
The biggest use case that our customers want us to support is this ability to write from multiple workbooks to the same table. So with Sigma Table, you'll essentially have a connection object, very much like a warehouse table, that not only can you read from, but write to from all your Sigma workbooks. So depending on how you configure your permissions, you could set it up in a way that multiple applications, multiple users can read and write from one table.
So what are some of those more complex use cases that Sigma Tables is going to unlock?
Right off the bat, we see customers building finance operations or sales ops use cases on Sigma, and you hear from them that they have multiple applications that they've created, that multiple personas within the company use, but somehow those applications exist in isolation. And the main reason why they exist in isolation is because there is no common write-back table. So let's take a finance use case, for instance. Imagine one application where all the expenses are being aggregated by the marketing folks, by HR, by different departments are sort of submitting their estimate of how much they think they will spend over the next quarter. And then there is a mothership FP&A application that takes this information and then does something with it, right? And they, on top of what everyone submitted, they want to either edit that data or they want to add their own flavor or add a multiple on top. Say, for instance, if you say my marketing budget is $100 and the finance folks think that it should be 80, they should be able to reduce that in their application. So with Sigma Tables, they should be all talking to the same backend table. So if one makes an edit in one place, the other should be able to see it right away. Because Sigma Tables is now a real table in the warehouse, you inherit everything that's available to you as features in the warehouse, like security, audit logging, anything that's available to you in your warehouse as features, you can actually apply it on that table.
Let's see what that looks like.
Let's see it.
Here is a central finance application that your finance team uses to keep track of metrics and run workflows such as financial forecasting, planning, and resource allocation. Here's another application where managers within the company request for new headcount. With Sigma Tables, both these applications can transact with the same table in your warehouse. Now let's assume you're Michael Roberts and you're requesting for a new headcount in New York City for a software engineer with a start date of 6/15. The requested salary seems a little low, so you increase it to 250,000 and then save it. The moment you do that, a notification goes to your financial analyst who sees the data reflect here instantly and can approve or reject the request. Let's say the request makes sense, the requested salary is within budget, and I hit approve. The status is then communicated back in the other application to the manager, and they see that reflected in the other application instantly. Now let me hand it over to my colleague Jik, who will show you another use case for Sigma Tables.
Thanks, Nishant, for the demo. Hi, everyone. My name is Jik, and I'm the PM for Sigma Tables and App Writeback. And another demo that we're going to show right now will be for a ledger application for a coffee shop, an employee scheduler planner where we have two workbooks. The first one is an employee portal where employees submit their availability and their shifts. And the second one is the manager portal where the manager is managing the schedule and seeing who's available and who's not to substitute and confirm and approve people's shifts. This can be applied to many similar use cases, such as hospital, nurses scheduling, or any other frontline workers such as retail or other applications, where users are expected to swap their shifts and have changes, where also a manager that they report to is managing their availability. Here in this example, I'm Alex Chin, and this workbook where I'm confirming my availability. And here I see my shift starting from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and my status is not available because I cannot work that shift. And you can see from the other end, here I'm the manager, Jamie. I see Alex here is not available, which matches the other workbook. I can also see the availability of the other employees. So from Alex's perspective, I was actually able to move things around, and I'm going to be able to be working that shift. So I'll go ahead and click on confirm shift, and I'll mark myself as available from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that particular date. I can also in this use case see others co-workers' schedule, so I can plan accordingly. So now when we go to the manager's workbook, I can see Alex's status changed to available, making things much easier to manage across workbooks and across multiple users. If you go to edit mode for these tables and click view table, we can see that these tables are Snowflake, where these changes are communicated back to the warehouse. That will be all for this use case demo. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And now back to Nishant and Mallory. Thank you.
And so I'd love to learn more about the kind of history behind the product vision of Sigma Tables. When did your team first kind of get that light bulb moment of, hey, maybe we need to rethink how we structure tables or what the architecture in the future could look like?
This, I think, happened 6 months ago. We had two options in front of us. We either sort of optimize our input table or evolve it to serve very specific N+1 use case, or rethink the entire architecture and think about what general application patterns do we want to support. And when that happened, we started sort of talking to customers again about different use cases for Writeback, and we sort of categorized them in 3 buckets. Right? The first bucket was the use case that we've been talking about, where multiple Sigma applications are talking to the same table and reading and writing from the same table. And then the second category of application that we discovered was that there were customers who wanted external systems to be able to talk to Sigma. Right? Sigma's applications kind of exist in isolation, which can be good depending on what you're doing, but some customers do want to expose that data to external systems or external applications that they're using. And then third is we've only supported 0 to 1 type of application paths, but there were customers who are starting to ask, hey, I already have this application that I use and it's writing to this database. Can I just simply migrate my database to Sigma and use Sigma's front end to build my use case? When we saw these use cases in aggregate, we realized that we needed to rethink our Writeback architecture, and that gave birth to Sigma Tables, where we simplified the whole thing and we said, hey, instead of us faking transactionality, can we create a first-class citizen table in the warehouse that we can read and write to? We want customers to be able to read and write to a real table that exists in their warehouse.
So you talked about customers who you spoke with during the research process who wanted to essentially migrate existing apps into Sigma. So what kind of apps would that be?
Some were point solutions, some were things that they're built in-house, but the big sort of motivating factor for them to migrate to Sigma was they wanted to just reduce the overhead of managing those applications. If they were building it, someone in the company had to maintain it, update it, which is a huge headache for whoever's built the application. If it's a point solution, it's just another place for them to spend money. If they already are a Sigma customer, they could easily migrate their application to Sigma and save money. If I'm already a Sigma customer, all I need to do is point Sigma to my tables and create the UI in Sigma and recreate the entire experience in Sigma.
Yeah.
It saves me money. They've been very excited and waiting for Sigma Tables because, like I said, they're trying to build something very bespoke. They don't have point solutions available. Their other option is to build something themselves, which is again very expensive, hard to manage. They're actually very happy with what they've seen so far, and they're excited for this to be available in beta. So you should be able to create a Sigma table in your workbook without thinking twice about whether someone else can see that data, because it will be restricted to the workbook when it starts. But then you'll have an option to promote it to be a connection object.
Okay. So obviously security and governance is huge for Sigma. With Sigma Tables, does that mean anyone can edit my warehouse tables?
Your Sigma users inherit the permissions that are in the warehouse. If someone has permissions to go edit data in a warehouse, they will be able to do that in Sigma too. But it's up to you as to how you want to set permissions for your users. But by default, no one will have edit access to tables that are in your warehouse. But it's an intentional design choice you make. If there is a certain table that you want to write to from Sigma, you can opt into that flow.
What warehouses will Sigma tables be available for, to start out at least?
So we're starting with Snowflake
Mhm.
and fast following with Databricks. So in the next 3 months, you'll be able to create and write to Sigma tables across both Snowflake and Databricks. And then in another quarter or so after, we will catch up on the other databases like BigQuery, Redshift, ClickHouse, and Postgres.
Cool. All right, customers, that is your directive to go forth and please build. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.